Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Sawadee ton chao. Good morning to you all. However few or however great you are. Okay, so today we're going to talk more about lonely men, but we're going to talk about lonely men in America today and how that's giving rise to passport bros, which, to be honest, I was a passport bro, but nobody called it by a name. I just went overseas and I was like, hey, you come over, you're in a place, after a while, you're like, I don't want to be alone. I want to be with somebody, I don't want to, I want somebody that'll keep me warm at night. It's not a big deal. Usually proximity is the decider of, if you get involved with anybody. It's proximity. Listen, if I lived in Africa for long enough, I'd end up with an African girl. If I lived in Australia for long enough, I'd be with an Australian girl. I'm in Thailand, well, I end up with a Thai girl. So, it happens. But when I came over here, nobody was calling it the passport bro. Nobody thought about it. People used to say, you can't get laid back home. I got laid plenty back home. I went through slumps like anybody else, but I had my fun. I wanted to explore the world. It wasn't, I want to go and get laid. Getting laid was the icing on the cake. It just makes things a little better. Come on. You come over, you're having a great time, you're going out, maybe you hit the bars a little, maybe you go on a little trip somewhere. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, look at this, she's very cute. Oh, you want to go with me? Okay, we'll go out somewhere. Then before you know it, you're in bed. Things happen. So you can call it the passport bros, but we're going to go over that today. First, though, I want to talk a little bit about some of the news real quick. I don't want to get into the news very much today. The big thing is that, the Prime Minister, Srettha, is out. He was booted out. And now, apparently, even though they said, oh, she doesn't have the experience, she's not going to be the next Prime Minister, Paetongtarn Shinawatra is set to be the 31st Prime Minister. I thought it might be Anutin, but I don't think so. So that's the big news. Today they're supposed to choose her. Yesterday they said that they would like her to be the Prime Minister, and then today is the day they're supposed to formally announce that she is the new Prime Minister. She expressed her gratitude to the members of the Pheu Party and the coalition governments for choosing and supporting her. I'm not going to get into it too much, but there's a special sitting of the House today to consider and confirm a suitable candidate for the post of Prime Minister under Section 159 of the Constitution. There are 7 eligible candidates from 5 political parties. CASHAPP Nitisiri, which that guy has been, basically he's been given the he-hope because his health is not good. Paetongtarn, Anutin, General Prawit Wongsuwan from the Palang Pracharath Party, Pirapan Siliarata Wibhaga, and General Prayut Chan-o-cha from the United Nation Party, and one more, Juran Laksanawisit from the Democrat Party. General Prayut was excluded because he's a member of the Privy Council, so he can't be in. And then, like I said, this CASHAPP is out now. He's 75 years old, so that leaves 5 people. And apparently, Shinawatra is who's being chosen. Now, what I find problematic about that is that, what's his name, Thaksin came back here, basically served no time in jail, and his what is she, his daughter? is the prime minister of the country. So he's pulling the strings. You can't get around that. All right, I'm not going to talk any more about that. Let's see here. Now, speaking of Oniton is puzzled by the cannabis U-turn. He admitted to having personally spoken to the Prime Minister at the time, Srettha Thavisin, about the party's concern over the Ministry of Public Health's plan to relist cannabis as a narcotic. What he's saying is that the Narcotics Control Board lacks convincing proof to recriminalize the plant. He said more studies need to be taken, and he was puzzled by why now they are, why they decided to relist it as a narcotic, and now they're backtracking again. I don't know. You know, this is what they do. They go back and forth, and I don't understand it, but this is politics in Thailand. There's a lot of opponents against cannabis, but there's also many activists who they don't want it relisted. Personally, I look at it and I go, what do you want to put people in jail for a weed for? How stupid is that? You think about it in that context. It's a weed. It's not like it gets them so wasted that they can't function, they can't do anything. This doesn't generally happen. So, you know, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that again. Let's see here. We already know. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to talk about that one. All right. A German tourist survived a fall from Pattaya Hotel after alleged cannabis-induced paranoia. There you go. I just shot myself in the foot. Some German tourist, a 21-year-old idiot, sorry, he's 21. He can't be all that smart. Yeah, exactly. What happened was he was on Soi 4 in Pattaya. Oh my God, this guy is a complete moron. He was sitting on the awning at the back of the hotel and tried to call the security guard. When the security guard tried to call him, the tourist, who appeared agitated and frightened, got up and ran along the awning, which eventually broke, causing him to fall and be injured. The security guard then called for rescue services. Mr. Bukow, this is the German guy, just arrived in Pattaya and checked into the hotel for the first time. After allegedly purchasing and using cannabis, he experienced paranoia and went to sit on the awning. The tourist might have been startled when the security guard approached him, surmised the police, prompting him to flee along the awning, leading to his fall. They're waiting for him to recover before they conduct further questioning and addressing the financial damages caused to the hotel. Of course, that's what's important. The financial damages. But this guy was an idiot. I'm sorry. Go out, get stoned, and then like hang out on the awning and run around because the security guard is saying things to you. Like, you can't be up there. Okay, I'll go inside. No, you're going to run around and... He's an idiot. You do stupid things happen. All right, so that's that. All right, now we're going to get to it. But first, fortunately, we're above 35 again. However, the dollar has been quite volatile lately. It's 35.01 to the baht. Dollar to the baht. 28 air quality here, which is pretty good. 84 degrees right now, high of 94, low 80. Feel like temperature is 88 and 79% humidity. It's starting to get hot now. And this is about 10 minutes ago. So there you have it. That's what we're dealing with. It's nice and sunny out. It's a beautiful day. My wife and I are going to look at another house today. After the stream, we're going to go look for another house. And while we like the one house that we looked at, there's another house that is very close to public transportation, to the SkyTrain, and you can get to the Yellow Line. It's very close, supposedly very nice. So we're gonna go check it out, and I'm gonna try to shoot some video today. So anyway, all right, now let's get to this topic, because I know there's a lot of inquiring minds out there. First of all, let me just say this. Women now think very differently from men politically. Male political views have stayed roughly the same. Women have grown stridently more liberal. Wonderful. Women also look a lot more different. The average American 30-year-old female weighed 144 pounds in 1980. Today, guess how much they weigh? The average, 170 big ones. So they're coming close to hitting 2 bills. The people won't vote for a new leader. Is that a military takeover again? No, it's not. It has nothing to do with that. This is not a military takeover. Well, I understand what you're saying there, Mr. Biloxi, but this is why people say, oh, they're passport bros. Oh, come on. You know what? Like, to all the women who are worried about guys going overseas, first of all, men can do whatever they want. If men want to go overseas to get laid, it's up to them. It's not up to you, honey. Nobody says anything when you go over to Africa to go get some guy with a 12-inch schlong. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares. In England, that happens all the time. And everybody just goes, okay. Usually the women get taken, but, you know, they spend all their money, but every once in a while it works out. But nobody says anything about that. But when the men go over for, like, younger women or whatever it is, they get all kinds of shit, which I don't appreciate it, because, and I have a story to tell. I'll tell it in a little while, but I want to keep reading this stuff here. So in current times, women are approximately 170 pounds, 5'4". So they're 5'4", 170 pounds. And they have a picture of what the average girl looks like, and she's a big woman. I wouldn't want her. I mean, she's nice looking, but she's a big girl. Like, I'd be like, that's a little too big for me. You know, I mean, my wife's gained a little weight from the kids and everything, but she's not 170 pounds. Jesus Christ. And she won't settle for anything less than the rich, tall, finance bro. That's what they want, okay? This is a problem here. The women are getting more educated now at higher rates than men. Okay, I understand that. You know, men can be knuckleheads and they get into trades and, you know, crafts and all that kind of stuff. But that in turn has led to increasingly unrealistic expectations of what an ideal partner should be. All right, the viral TikTok song, I am looking for a man in finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes, was meant to parody this. The odds of finding a man with all 4 of the qualities, which is the height is 6'5", they make over $100,000. Let me see here. What is it? Let me see. I'm not sure. Let him be rich, let him be tall, let him be on the will. So he has a trust fund. Unbelievable. So that's what they want. And less than 2%. Yes. are, you know, I mean, if you want a guy who is at least 6 foot tall, 15% of the male population, and makes $100,000 less than 10%, you're looking at a cohort that comprises only 2% of men, American men. You can see these very high standards playing out on dating apps. 20% of men are getting 78% of the swipes. Given men in general are 6.2 times more likely to like, this means that there are a small cohort of guys with a big pool of matches, and a much larger cohort of men who have essentially no matches. When all the women go after the same small group of men, you end up with a miserable dating market. And every man who is one of these high finance guys who's 6 foot tall and higher, and he's making over 100 G's and all this stuff, they all have 20 of these women, you know, hitting on. And the women think that they're God's gift to men. And it's no wonder to me why guys go overseas. I mean, granted, if you're a top tier guy, I mean, I'm short. I'm not a top tier guy. I know that. But I never had a problem with women. I never had a problem where I went years and I was like, oh my God, I don't have any girlfriend. I'm not having sex. No, none of that. But if you're in that top tier, you don't have to get the 170-pound girl. You can get whatever you want, pretty much. So this is why guys go to like the Ukraine and end up finding some girl. And it's funny because every article I look at, it says, oh, all the girls want green cards. No, they don't all want green cards. That's not what they want. Some of them want it, and that is like, they got to have the green card. Okay, I admit that. However, many of them, they're happy where they are. And it's not only in countries that are third world. That's what they make a mistake about these things. Family formation is the most important hallmark of a well-functioning society. We have to start talking about the problem without either sex blasting the other. And that's where it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. You can't be given a hard time to women, and the women can't be given a hard time to men. Well, the men do this and the men do that. They're no good. And oh, come on. It's like the Thai woman who says, I don't like Thai men. Thai man no good. It's ridiculous. Oh, there's no Thai men no good. What it is the good Thai men don't want you. I said that a long time ago. The good Thai men don't want you. There's a reason why most women who have an education and who are making good money in Thailand do not want a taxi driver as their husband. Now, let me just read a little something, and maybe you can detect the tone here from this girl, which I don't know where she's from. Let me see here if I can figure it out real quick. Oh, God. No, she doesn't say. She says London-based, but I think she's from Poland. Oh, my gosh. All right, let me just go on here. The ugly truth about Western men, how the passport bros movement reveals it. Their pursuit of traditional women in impoverished countries couldn't be more telling. Now, let me just tell you something. Thailand is not impoverished. It's not anymore. Maybe in a long time ago it was. But this article was written about a year ago. Thailand was not impoverished a year ago. The Philippines, okay, I get it. It's a lot more impoverished than Thailand. Ecuador, okay, maybe. Colombia is not impoverished to where you go there and there's nobody with money. It's ridiculous. Okay? It's not one of the poorest countries. So To think that, okay, you want to go to Brazil, yeah, you can find yourself a girl from the favela who doesn't have any money and she's struggling to survive. Or you can go and you can find a girl with a job who has money and she's living within her means. That's what you have to do. And that's what people forget. And what men forget when they come to Thailand, good morning, Jim. What men forget when they come to Thailand, a lot of men, not all of them, but what many men forget is that just because they don't speak the language here doesn't mean that the Thais don't speak the language, doesn't mean that they have to go to bars to be able to hook up with a chick. Now, their chances are a lot slimmer if they're coming here for the short term. If they're coming here for 2 weeks, listen, I mean, the chance of finding a girl who's going to be the girl of your dreams, she's awesome, she's going to be faithful to you. Oh my God, you're going to go back and forth, and every 6 months you're going to come to Thailand for 2 years before you get married. That stuff doesn't usually happen, okay? Now, what I can say is that when I was going to Alaska, when I worked in Alaska, the 2 tours that I worked, I had a chick. I had a girl. And I liked her, but I didn't love her. She was a nice girl, but, you know. And if I had met my wife then when I was going back and forth to Alaska, probably she wouldn't have become my wife, and I probably wouldn't be seeing her. She'd be with somebody else. She told me she had some guys that really liked her and had wanted her, but boom, they had to go back to, one guy had to go back to Italy, another one went to Holland. And, you know, she was like, the guy would write her an email, and she'd be like, well, you know, when you come over, we can talk. It's nice you write me, okay, yeah, we can talk. But what I mean is, you can't get serious. You're away from each other 6 months or a year. You're waiting for your next trip. Oh, I'm going to be there for 3 weeks. That doesn't work usually. You either got to move here or you got to be going back and forth all the time. Now, this lady says, if I had to rank manosphere subcultures from bad to the absolute worst, I definitely put incels at rock bottom. But not that high above them, I'd put passport bros. All right, first of all, this chick needs to get a life. Because if she thinks that passport bros are right at the bottom of the list, there's guys like me who came over here. Nobody was telling me I was a passport bro. I didn't come over here looking for women. I mean, well, I kept my eyes open. But I didn't come over here thinking I'm going to get married. I thought I'm going to come here for a year, I'm going to have a good time, and we'll see what happens. Then I'll go back home. That was it. Passport bro refers to a breed of men from the US and UK who roam countries in South America, Southeast Asia, and Eastern Europe in search of traditional women. Yup, it's essentially a reverse of the mail order bride industry. Okay. I don't know about the I know what it is, the mail order bride industry, but I never took part in it, and I never really thought about it. You know, it was like, back in the day, it was pen pals. And I don't think it's a smart way to do business, and I don't think online dating is smart. Because it's too easy to fake things. Oh yeah, I weigh 120 pounds, and I got 36 double Ds, and I'm this and I'm that. Then you come to see her, and you know, she's 5 foot tall and 170 pounds. And she's got big breasts, but she's got a big gut, and she's got a big butt. You know. And just as it's the case with men who reach for online catalogs in hope of finding a wife, the main reason why passport bros want to pursue foreign women is that they're fed up with the ideals and lifestyles of the Western woman. Here's the thing. This woman needs to take a reality check. Look at the numbers. Where is it at? I think it's 63% of men under 30 have no woman. They have no one. Let me see something here, because I think I closed this out. Let's see. But where is it? Most young men are single. Is it this one? No, that's not it. Da, 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 da. Well, let's see. Here it is. All right. Now this has some percentages in here. Phenomenon is clearly present in the data. And this chick ought to take a look at the data, because in 1990, only 8% of women at age 40 had never been married. Today, roughly 25% of women have never been married by the age of 40. But there's a part here, it says 63%. Pretty sure it's in this article, but let me see. Maybe I was wrong. No. All right. Well, let me see here. Maybe this is it here. This guy is a passport bro, and this guy says he's traveled to 11 countries so far, including Brazil, Mexico, Indonesia, the Philippines, and South Korea. He's a digital nomad, and he describes himself as a passport bro because he goes around and dates all these women, hoping to find a life partner. Howdy, Carnivore Chronicles. How you doing? What's happening? The West assumes that any man who comes to Southeast Asia is a passport bro. Social media exaggerates this. Yes. Yes, definitely. And I just laugh about it, really. I mean, now, I'm going to tell you this story, but give me a second here. The rise of passport bros, it's just been over half a year since the passport bro lifestyle started trending. Blah, 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 blah. Feminism ruined everything here, wrote one man under a post ranting about Western women. It's insanely dangerous ideology. If they could find a submissive, agreeable, they don't have to be submissive. My wife is not submissive. She can be, but guess what? There are many times when she's not submissive. She's strong, and she doesn't need me to tell her what to do. Most of the time, I just go ahead, do it. Do whatever you want. Hey, you want to go? You want to do it? Okay, go ahead. I sit back and let her do it. Because if I start giving her a hard time about it, she's going to start getting snippy about things. And I don't want that. Yeah, exactly. That's almost every Thai woman that is married to a man, a Western man. Every Western man tells me, my wife is not submissive. They're not some little Japanese girl who goes, oh, I tell you, yes, sir, oh, okay. Anything you want, my love. No, that's not how it is. Now, in the old days, I'm talking about 50, 60, 70 years ago, when not that many women were working. That's how women used to be. With Thai women, how it used to be is that the Thai women would come, like in the villages, they would come home, the husband would come home, they would well, I don't know what that means. She's not submissive, but she's traditional. I mean, the thing is a traditional Filipino, Thai, whatever, doesn't have to be submissive. And I think people are mistaken about that. They think just because of the way that the woman carries themselves, like my wife is very soft-spoken. She rarely ever yells. Ever. She doesn't yell. And if I raise my voice and all, she goes, that's what she does. But she's very traditional in the sense of marriage is important, kids are important, family's important. So this is what this woman is saying here. If they could only find a submissive, agreeable, and eager to please woman, yep, those are the adjectives they use to describe their ideal partner who'd unquestionably wipe their bums on command. Well, that bit is my dramatization. They'd finally be happy. Well, first of all, I'm glad that's a dramatization. But I will say this, if I'm 80 years old and I'm not able to take care of myself, like to wipe my bum and to do things like that, my wife and my children will help me, or we will have a nurse to do it. I can tell you that without any hesitation. They're not going to let me sit there stewing in my own shit. So what's so funny about this woman, she's making all these characterizations, supposedly on what other people are saying and telling her, but it's ridiculous. Passport bros blame feminism and the women's empowerment for their personal struggles and failures. And just like incels, they believe they're entitled to a woman who essentially acts like a Stepford wife. That's ridiculous. They don't have to be like a Stepford wife. They don't have to be perfect. That's just ridiculous. Everybody knows perfection is something that people strive for and they think about, but they're never going to get it. Almost never are you going to find, really. I guarantee you, Christy Brinkley's had a pimple on her ass once in a while. You know, something's happened where she's not so perfect. There are plenty of women out there that are not perfect. Perhaps more worryingly, they also seem to share incels' fascination with purity and very young girls. Now that's ridiculous. I came across quite a few posts compiling countries with the lowest age of consent, some of which, like the Philippines, set it to just 12 years old. This woman wrote an article that is extremely disappointing. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. And can you write back on this? I guess you can, because maybe I'll write something. I don't know if you can comment on this. I don't see anything. Yeah, well, here's this. How the Red Pill movement changed my outlook on women. I don't know how old it is, but, you know, to me, listen, 16-year-old chick, come on, man. What have I got in common with her? Oh, you got a vagina and I have something else? Oh, let's get to work, honey. Come on. So this woman, you know, her writing is so far off. She is, I don't know what world she's living in. It feels like while women in Western countries have managed to progress quite a bit in recent decades, many men here are still stuck in the fantasy land of the 50s. No, honey, what it is they don't want some fat pig of a woman who actually they would never call a fat pig. They would say, hey, this girl's a little heavy, but she's really nice, she's pretty, or whatever it is, and I really like her. But the woman doesn't like her. Oh, he doesn't make 100 grand, he's not tall enough. And yet she's 5 foot tall, she's almost a midget, and she's a hog, and she wants the best of the best. It's just ridiculous. And I understand, women have choices. That's the thing. They got choices, because you know why? They got the little triangle. And that gives them choices. And what's funny is that they think that men care about their job. They think that men care about who they are as a person, you know, as far as what kind of job do I do? Oh, I'm a doctor. Well, that's very good that you got to be a doctor. I can appreciate that. However, that's not the most important thing. And I tell my wife that sometimes. I've told her many times before. I go, listen, I don't really care. I'm glad you got a great job and you're doing well. More power to you. But the bottom line is, I care about how you take care of the family, how good you are to me, the sex. I care about all that stuff. All that is important. And none of it has to do really with your job. I mean, it's great. You can help provide. You can, you know, have a good job where you're proud of. I can appreciate that. However, that is not the most important thing. Oh my God. In the eyes of many Western men, we still aren't people, we being women. No, we are perfectly submissive and docile and dutiful, and yet always sexually available and insatiable blow-up dolls existing solely for your consumption and satisfaction. It's precisely this disgusting and reductive stereotyping that then creates demand for women from Southeast Asia, South America, and Eastern Europe. Well, wait a minute. I mean, it doesn't have to be Eastern Europe, it can be anywhere in Europe. That's the way I look at it. What about Scandinavians? You know, I mean, I know that some of them are very liberal, but come on. Who doesn't like a good, hot-looking Swedish chick? That's why there's an overprevalence of certain ethnicities in pornography, particularly Asian women. That's why mail-order bride industry, described by some as a softer version of human trafficking. Oh my God. This chick is so... I want to like write her and go, honey, you come to where I live. I'll help you wake up. By the time you leave here, you're going to go, oh, now I understand. Oh my God. Okay, so now they call the trade in Eastern women is the Natasha trade. Never heard that phrase. It's a booming business. Now, I have heard that, you know, men go to the Ukraine and go to some other places because the women are very beautiful, and some of them are in need. You know, they've been married, maybe they got a kid, and then they want somebody else, and they go, I'll give it a try. Maybe I can go to America or something like that. Okay, I understand that happens sometimes. The article is full of straw man arguments, yes, definitely. I bet she has never traveled out of the United States. She didn't even have a passport. Well, she's from Poland, and she's based in London. So I'm going to say she probably has a passport. She's traveled a little bit. I don't know about anything else. Let me see here. Let me see. Does she have purple hair? No, she looks pretty good. I mean, really, she's a nice looking girl. But it's hard to see, you know, when they put up the little thumbnail, the little circle of the girl, she's turned and looking. She looks pretty. But of course she could be, you know, she could be 170 pounds and 5'4". I don't know. God, some of these articles are just, this is on medium.com. And some of her statements are just out of this world, man. Let's see here what I was looking. Well, and it also says that no one takes into consideration. Here's the thing about a guy. Oh my God. I want to make it clear that I do not support any negative or harmful behavior by men. Why do you have to say that, honey? This article is simply attempting to bring attention to challenges that men may encounter and how these challenges can have an impact on the relationship. You know, let me see something here. Listen, do me a favor, please. Click the thumbs up. Don't forget to click the thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up button. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Do all these things. And look down below. There's some stuff down below the window and in the description. You look at the description. You got all these things down in the description. You know, you can get my merchandise, you can use the Cash App, you can become a sponsor on YouTube, you can use super chats, super thanks, all that good stuff. You can go to my website, purchase one of my books. Everything's down in the description, all right? So now that you know that, please smash the like button, because you got almost 30 people here, and you only got 11 thumbs up, which is just ridiculous, really. And especially on a subject like this, I know to me, it's an interesting subject. And I would think to many other people, I wasn't going to do this today. I was going to do another subject, and then I moved on because I saw this, and I went, oh, I got to do this today. I want to do it now. Let's see here. In my years as a dating coach, I noticed that more American men are dating foreign women. Okay, this is a chick. She's from the Philippines. Her name is Rana Lu. Some may assume it's solely based on physical attraction, but I know men who have looked for love beyond borders because they're seeking support and validation. Many have found it with foreign women. Let me tell you about Elias, though. Elias is one of my good friends who had a disastrous dating life and was even left traumatized because of it. Here's his story. He struggled with anxiety and depression, and his girlfriend, Joyce, knew about it. She even said that she would accept and support him no matter what. Okay, we know that's bullshit. Because when the rubber hits the road, people tend to take off. Now, if they're really, really good people, they stick around. That's what a true friend is. That's what a true girlfriend is. That's what a true good wife is. But everything was a lie. They were happy and healthy for the first few months, but after a year, everything took a turn for the worse. Despite his situation, Elias was always open and honest about his feelings, especially when he was having negative thoughts about himself. He shared all his struggles with Joyce because he thought that was what she wanted, but he was wrong. Good morning. Instead of being his #1 supporter, Joyce saw him as weak and flawed, who couldn't get his life together. Now, I can tell you, how many men have ever cried in front of a woman? You cried in front of your woman? The only thing I would probably cry about is my parents or somebody close to me dying, and something happened to my children or my wife. That's it. I just, if I cry, I want to do it alone where nobody sees me. But how many guys have done that, thinking that, it's okay, I can be open, I can show my feelings, and then the woman thinks they're weak. And if she cries, it's okay because I'm a woman. Well, no, that's not equality, baby. She even told him that he was being too dramatic and sensitive, and it's not right for a man to act in such a way. Because men, supposedly, are supposed to carry themselves as being strong, they can handle anything, they can take care of all the household problems, they can take care of any problem that arises. And yet when a woman can't do that, it's, oh, can you help me with this, baby? Now, I know there's plenty of strong, successful, capable women out there. But some women will say, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? And why is it okay for them to ask, but if a man asks, then it's not okay? Because that's the way that it is. She would belittle him and dismiss his feelings, but since Elias loved her, he didn't leave the relationship. He tried to see the good in her and found excuses to justify her bad behavior. But things didn't become better. In fact, they became worse. Long story short, Joyce broke up with him and his condition worsened. This happened years ago, and Elias is just one of my many American men I've worked with who struggle with mental health issues and seek a partner who is willing to support them. Imagine asking a woman to make you a sandwich and she won't do it for you. She goes, no, I'm not going to make you a sandwich. Now, I can understand if she's busy doing something, oh, I'm taking care of the baby, honey. Can you just do it yourself? Yeah, okay. But if she's just sitting there on her ass and you're there and you're like, I'm really into this game. Could you make me a sandwich, please? Listen, if she asks you to make her a coffee, which my wife does sometimes. Today she was out of coffee. Usually she has her own instant coffee. She likes this gold instant coffee, and she will drink it all the time. She loves it. That's what she drinks every morning. So today she's like, I don't have any coffee. And I said, I got you. I'll make you a coffee. So, I'm like doing something I hadn't got to yet. And she goes, will you make me a coffee? I go, I told you I'll do it. Just give me a second. All right. So then I make her a coffee. Oh, thank you. She's so happy because she gets her coffee. Now, it's a small gesture. But I guarantee you, if I said, could you make me an omelet? Okay, boom, done. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in 2020, men are more likely to die from suicide than women. One of the reasons is that their mental health isn't talked about enough, and it's because of this belief that men being vulnerable is for men being weak. There are people who still believe men should always be strong and stoic at all times. As a result, men like Elias would choose to hide their emotion and fake their smiles. Because men have feelings too. Yes, they do. Men can be vulnerable and seek help from others if they need it. So this is what the lady says. So let's try to offer support instead of dismissing them. Well, that would be nice, but guess what? I don't think it's going to happen. most women are just going to be like, okay, yeah, you know, oh baby, I understand. And then when it comes down to it, they don't understand. Or, you know, they don't want to understand. This can help men if they're suffering from mental health issues. All right, now where's that? I'm still looking for that 63% thing here. No love lost. Is America the worst place in the world to date? I've been dating in America for years, and let me tell you, it's a nightmare. A lot of women seem to have a checklist of unrealistic expectations, and if you don't meet every single one of them, you're out of luck. Listen, I can tell you, I know for sure, if I was in the United States and I was single, at my age now, I would have a hard time. There would be women who, you know, some chick with 3 kids would be like, you know, and she's 3 kids and she's got, you know, she's 50 years old, and she'd be like, yeah, you know, I got my problems with my kids and I smoke, and she'd be the one that wants me. And I'd be like, no. And that's why I'm married to somebody who's 14 years younger than me, who I've been with since she was, what, 22, 21, whatever. I think she was 21, almost 22. If you don't fit their standards of perfect height, weight, and a certain level of income, don't expect you'll be getting a date. I remember a girl that I went out with who had a Honda, what was it? What the hell was that thing? It was like a little piece of shit. It was like a Chevy something. It was like just a little tiny, you know, like a Yugo kind of thing. But it wasn't a Yugo. I can't remember what kind of car it was, but she had this little car. And she was a good-looking girl. And for some reason, she liked me. I don't know why. And, you know, every once in a while, we get together. We were never boyfriend and girlfriend. But we get together and we, you know, we engage in activities, we'll say. You know, we'd go to the, you know, there were some hot tubs up on this hill in this place where I was living that had these hot tubs that had a great view. And you could go there and you were all fenced in. Nobody could see in, but you could see out. It was great. You know, we did things like that. And she told me, she said, you know, the number one thing that a woman looks at is what kind of car is the guy driving? And then does he have a house? If he's got a house and he's got a nice car, what's he doing for work? How much money does he make? And I'm like, that's your criteria? How about, is he a good dude? Is he fairly successful? You know, if he has a piece of shit car, why does he have a piece of shit? Because a smart guy isn't going to buy a brand new car unless he's got plenty of money to waste. Because cars go down in value immediately. So if he had a nice second-hand car, and he's like, listen, a couple of years I'm going to buy myself a new one, but right now this one is good enough. And don't get me started on the games they play. They'll say one thing and do another, and it's exhausting trying to figure out what they actually want. It's just not worth the effort anymore. Well, I've seen that and heard that. There's been times there. I remember one chick towards the end of when I was, well, I would say this is a couple years before I came over here. There was this chick. She was like a teacher, and she was cute, and I thought, oh wow. I said, you want to go out? And she's like, I don't know. And I come on, let's go out. She goes, all right, fine. So I get her phone number. I called her up once. Okay, let's go out on Friday or whatever. Yeah, okay. On Friday comes, and she still hadn't sent me her address. I didn't know where she lived. And you know, like I sent her a message, and I'm like, what's going on? Are we going to go out or what? She didn't answer me. She ghosted me. And then like a couple weeks later, I saw her. She goes, I just didn't feel like going out. And I'm like, oh, that's real freaking polite of you to let me know. You don't want to go out? Fine. I'll go find another chick. I don't need you. But at least have the courtesy to let me know. Now, this other guy says, this guy Anthony says, I've tried dating in other countries, and believe me when I say it's night and day compared to America. Women are so entitled and demanding that they expect you to go through hoops just to get a date. And the dating culture is so toxic. It's all about who can play the game better and who can be more aloof and uninterested. Oh my God. You know, did you ever, like, have you met a woman and you're sitting down having a meal with her and she's either on the phone all the time or you're talking to her and, you know, then something catches her eye and she's like, oh. And then she's just like, she just comes back and she doesn't say anything. And you're like, did you hear what I said? Are you interested? What? The difference is you're sitting at dinner with someone and you're engaged with them. If she's on the phone, she puts the phone down, she's talking to you, you're looking at each other, you understand what each other is talking about, you're in a conversation. How often does that happen now? And I personally blame social media and smartphones for the decline in women being interested and them being educated also. Okay, that's fine. They can have their choices. They can do what they want. I don't think that's a problem. But I think that they ought to, like, temper their expectations. Oh, I gotta have a guy's making over $100,000. How about the guy has some potential? How about that? How about the guy has potential to make over 100? How about he has potential to make 80 grand? What's wrong with that? He's only making 35, 40 right now. But guess what? In another 10 years, he's going to be making a lot more. That's not okay? The dating culture is so toxic. It's about who can play. Okay, so I had no other choice but to give up in dating in America. This guy was 55 years old. I'm not saying that all American women are bad, but I can no longer take it here. And that's what I say, because I have not dated in America for 30 years. So what I believe is that there are some good women out there. There are some women who have their heads on right, who don't have to go after a guy because of all his money, all his attributes, in a sense of, does he have everything on my checklist? But that number is dwindling. It's getting less and less. People are so focused on their own needs and desires that they forget about the other person. And the hookup culture is a whole nother level of messed up. Nobody wants to commit. Nobody wants to put in the effort to build a real relationship. Everyone is just looking for a quick fix instead of something meaningful. It's a shame, really. Quentin, 38. And that's the other thing. What about a woman's numbers? What about her numbers? What happens if you meet a woman and you go, how many, you're just like, you know, you're, all right, now you slept together and you're like, oh, that was really nice. Okay, great. And she's like, how many women have you been with? Probably 15, 20, you know, all right, you know. And she goes, oh, I've been with like 80. 80? Who's okay with that? Because to me that means that if she's with a guy, the guy is not special anymore. It's just another roll in the hay. I mean, I guess women can change and stop that, but I don't really think so. All right, let me continue here. Is this it right here? Yeah, I think this is it. Okay. All right, here we go. As of 2022, the Pew Research Center found 30% of U.S. adults are neither married, living with a partner, nor engaged in a committed relationship. Nearly half of all young adults are single. 34% of women and a whopping 63% of men. Not surprisingly, the decline in relationship marches astride with the decline in sex, which is a damn shame. Honestly, because everybody needs to get a little something, because man, I mean, it takes the edge off. I mean, really. The share of sexually active Americans stands at a 30-year low. Around 30% of young men reported in 2019 that they had no sex in the past year, compared to about 20% of young women. Only half of single men are actively seeking relationships or even casual dates, according to Pew. That figure is declining. You have to think that the pandemic has had an impact on some of those numbers. Okay, I understand. Oh, University of Redlands, which I live right next to. Young men are watching lots of social media. They're watching a lot of porn. And I think they're getting a lot of their needs met without having to go out. And I think that's starting to be a habit. Even nothing beats real sex, man. I'm sorry. You like porn, you whatever, okay, I got it. But it's better if you're doing it for real, you know. Even seasoned researchers struggle to fully account for the relationship gap between young men and women. If single young men outnumber single young women nearly 2 to 1, then who are all the young women dating? Some of them are dating each other. 1/5 of Generation Z identifies as queer, and research suggests bisexual women make up a large share of the young adult queer community. Young women are also dating and marrying slightly older men, carrying on a tradition that stretches back more than a century. The average age at first marriage is around 30 for men, 28 for women, according to the census figure. Heterosexual women are getting more choosy. And this is the problem. The women are getting more choosy. And the men maybe are not performing better so that they look like they're a more attractive catch to the women. Women don't want to marry down to form a long-term relationship to a man with a lesser education and earnings than herself. In previous generations, young women entered adulthood in a society that expected them to find a financially stable man who would support them through decades of marriage and motherhood. Over the 50s and 60s, that pattern gradually broke down, and today it is all but gone. Women are tiring of their stereotypical role as a full-time therapist for emotionally distant men. They want a partner who is emotionally open and empathetic, the opposite of the age-old masculine idea. Today in America, women expect more from men, and unfortunately, so many men don't have more to give. This article is a little off for me. The same emotional deficits that hurt men in the dating pool also hamper them in forming meaningful relationships. 15% of men report having no close relationships, a 5-fold increase from 1990. So it was only 3% in 1990. Now it's 15%. Men are less naturally relational than women. A recent Saturday Night Live sketch reimagined the neighborhood dog park as a man park, poking fun at this reliance of men on women to do the emotional lifting for them. I don't know how funny that is. Social circles have been shrinking for men and women, especially since the pandemic, but men struggle more. 30 years ago, 55% of men reported having 6 or more close friends. In 2021, the share has slipped to 27%. Women form friendships with each other that are emotionally intimate, whereas men do not. Young women may not be dating, but they have girlfriends they spend time with and gain emotional support from. Well, I can tell you something. What was that I was going to tell you about the story that I had? Oh, the woman, okay. They're saying that men are less emotional, intimate, may not be dating, but they have girlfriends. Okay, my wife hangs out with her girlfriends. What I can tell you is she don't get what she gets from me. And I know her girlfriends are very nice. They're very polite. They get along well. They're cool. I've hung out with them. I know what they're like. They're nice. But she's not getting from them what she gets from me. And maybe I'm lucky, maybe, whatever, I don't know. But, I've said to her before, are you sure you don't want a chick? You don't want to be with a guy? You want to be with a chick or something? I said, no, I like guys. Okay. Some women just, even here, some women, they don't like other women, So that's something you should think about. Now, this story that I was going to tell you. Hello there, Dale. How you doing? And I've told this story before, but I was I covered the 2008 Beijing Olympics as a journalist, as a photojournalist. I went there. I was credentialed. I had everything. I had a room. I got to go into the media center and all that other stuff. It was great, right? I mean, now here comes everybody. Everybody's being let in. It's very busy today because it's a Friday. Yes, lots and lots of people coming in here. Anyway, so I'm sitting in the media center, minding my own business. I'm rocking out. I got my headphones on. I'm just rocking. And I see there's a lady sitting next to me. And she's, typing away. Okay, nodding, hello. She's an older woman. And I don't think anything of it. And then I take my headphones off, and we start talking. She's like, hello, where are you from? I said, well, where are you from? Oh, I'm from I think it was the Virgin Islands. Maybe it was the Cayman Islands. I said, oh, okay. Oh, I understand. Yeah, I've been there before. Very nice, blah, blah, blah. Oh, really? Where do you live now? I live in Thailand. Oh. Yes, I'm married. And I live there with my wife and my kids. You didn't marry one of those Thai women, did you? And I was like, ooh. That's exactly what I thought. I thought, ooh, what's wrong with this lady? And I go, actually, I've been married, and at the time it was, let me see here. Well, that was a long time ago, so 16 years ago. I'm like, I've been married like 10 years, 9 years, something like that. 9 years. She's like, oh, I see. And I said, well, I'm just curious to know, what is your problem? She just hemmed and hawed for a little bit. Finally, she tells me, I went to Phuket with my husband. Now, this lady was older. I was about, let me see here, I was 45 then. She was probably in her 60s. And she was just writing for some little tiny newspaper. She had got credentials because she was able to, I understand. She got her credentials from this little Cayman newspaper or whatever it was, because they wanted to be involved in the Olympics and everything. So she's, doing her thing. I'm doing my thing. And, we're just talking. And I'm trying not to be a dick about it, because I didn't like her, the way she was talking about, she's talking about my wife. And I'm like, hey, listen, honey, I hate to tell you this, but my wife, she's not a hooker. She never was a hooker. She's got a good job. She's a good woman. She takes good care of my kids. And, and I'm like, what more? And she goes, well, I went to Phuket with my husband. And I said, okay, so? And, my husband, he went out, and the next thing I know, he's got himself a Thai girl. I said, oh. I said, so what happened? She left him. I guess she left him. That's what I remember. She said, it was a younger girl. He didn't want her. He wanted the younger girl. And she's pissed off. And so she got her heart broken by some guy who was like probably sick and tired of, I don't want to give a blowjob. What are you talking about? I'm 50 years old. 60 years old. Why do I have to blow you? I don't know. That's how she seemed to me. Not very, thank you. Not very happy to be with. She wasn't quiet. She was kind of a little bit sour. You could tell she was sour. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, not only that, she wasn't attractive at all. She was heavy. She wasn't attractive. And I'm thinking to myself, here's this woman who's got nothing physically going on for her. You'd think she'd be a master at BJ's. She'd be the master. She'd want to keep that husband happy. Hey, I'll make that thing whistle. And guess what? If I get on top of you, oh, you'll never be the same. I'll ride that thing like a, you would think that's how she'd be. No. Her mentality was, Why isn't my husband better to me? Why doesn't he understand that I need this and I need that? And I'm just thinking, fucking A. I just thought to myself, I'm glad I'm going home with my wife. I'm glad I don't have this BS. I've never forgot that lady. I forget some of the story and, you know, it changes. It's been a long time now. But I never forget that mentality that she had. Ugh, one of those Thai girls. I was like, what the fuck is your problem, honey? And her problem was, she got jerked around by some guy. Which, okay, the guy messed around in her, I understand. He should have just said to her, listen, honey, we gotta break up. I know we're in Thailand, but I wanna break up. I don't wanna be with you. We'll figure things out when we go back. Because I'm not happy. Then he goes and does whatever he wants. I mean, you know, get another hotel room, split up, blah, blah, blah. I know it's a pain in the ass. That's what he could have done. But he didn't. He just like, you know, with some other, you know. And, you know, I think about that and I just go, you know, what's the point? 61% of U.S. adults believe that having close friends is essential for living a fulfilling life. A significantly higher percentage of those feel like being married, having children, or having a lot of money is more important. Wow, that's just crazy. Now, if you look at people who live the longest in the world, seriously, people who live the long, I'm talking about people from like Osaka and some of these other places. I think it's Kari or something. What is it called? Yeah, I forgot the name of it. But this place is in Greece. There's a couple places. And some of these people in these places live to be quite old because they have a social circle. And their social circle hasn't dwindled to where they have no friends. They have all kinds of, they're 95 years old. They go out every morning and they got, you know, 5-6 people that they're friends with. And they're playing a game. They're playing cards, they're playing dominoes, whatever they're playing. But they live the longest, and also they eat fairly healthy, and they, you know, they get some form of exercise, but the social circle is important, which is why it's important that if you're older, you go out, you meet people, you hang out with them. And let me tell you something, in the last year or two, I have not felt like doing as much. I have not felt like doing as many things. I have not felt like going out. I'm like, what is the point? I don't really want to. And, you know, every time we go visit Nicholas, he's out in Rangsit, and it's like a huge pain in the ass. Well, you know what? That's the kind of thinking that will get you in trouble. Because you haven't flipped the switch. There's a lot of options out here. There are many options. I see them all the time. All you have to do is be able to say, I don't want to act on that. And you know, if you're viewing bar girls as options, they're not an option. They're a hole. That's all they are. And I hate to say that. And some of them might be beautiful. I understand that too. Now, when you walk around and I'm in the mall, generally, I don't see that many beautiful women here. I don't see that many, and I go, wow, she's really cute. Oh my God, look at the body on her, and she's pretty good looking too. I don't usually say that. It happens a little bit, but it's not that much. You go sit on a songtao somewhere, you'll see what I mean. The percentage is fairly low. Now, you want to go into the bars, well, obviously they want good-looking women. They want women that supposedly guys are going to want. Well, what do they want them for? Oh, throw me a few bucks. You know, I mean, gyms out in the villages, I'm sure there's some good-looking women out in the villages, but guess what? A lot of them are old ladies. I'm here in the mall right now, and I can tell you, sometimes Swenson's has one or two decent-looking girls working it there. You know, I mean, and you know, to say that, oh, I'm gonna go to Pattaya because that's where all the beautiful women are. Yeah, but they're not quality women. You're not gonna find a lot of quality women that want you in Pattaya. You're gonna find some chick who's been working in the bar or whatever, or as one person said, some of the regular girls are just as vicious and needy, and you know, they got their hand out just like the bar girls, because that's a city where that's what it's all about. It's about give me the money, give me the money, give me the money. We all got to make money. Oh, we need the money. Yeah, well, why don't you make it yourself, not from me? You know, I mean, really. Now, I know that people visiting here would have a lot harder time landing regular girls. They might get laid. I mean, it depends, you know, if they're really cute, good-looking guys, handsome guys, they got everything going. The woman might think, fuck it, I'm going for it. He might be the guy, and, you know, we're going to have a relationship, and everything's going to be great. And they take a chance. And then, you know, okay, he doesn't want me. Okay, well, I guess I'll go on to the next one. Well, you know, one other thing is that a lot of people don't think about is that when they go to the bars, they're getting a girl who, if she's not working in the bar, she doesn't have all that much she can do. You can start a business for her. You can help her put money into a business. She might be smart enough to run a business and make a go of it once she has the money. But a lot of those girls, they're not capable. You get them a little mini market, they'll run that thing into the ground. Once they run out of stock, the money that they have, they're like, they spent it. Oh, well, I've got this money, I've got that money, I'll get more money. And they won't get more money. They'll get more money from you if you can give it to them. And if they're a farmer, how many guys have a lot in common with some 25-year-old girl who's a farm girl? Now, you don't always have to have a lot in common, and the women are pretty good about making things that are in common. They're pretty good about looking at it that perspective, to where they, you know, they found some guy, oh, I take care of you, don't worry, I will take care of you. But I don't need him to do my laundry. I do my laundry myself. Do I need him to cook for me? I mean, it's nice, but no, I don't need him to cook for me. What do I need them to do for me that I can't do for myself? I can do everything for myself. I don't need them for anything. I can speak Thai. I can communicate with other Thais. I can go to places. I can get around. I don't need them for anything. I can read the language. I can read the signs on the highway. I don't need them. I don't need her. I don't need it. Whatever it is. I don't need them. Now, what I do need is somebody who's going to have my back. Somebody who will be there through thick and thin. And, you know, that's it. That's really what I need. I don't know about other guys. Maybe that's what they need too. And I think that's what most guys want. They want a woman, their ride or die woman. And it's not ride or die as long as you give me money. Yeah, of course you need money to survive. So you got to have some kind of an income. You got to have some revenue. But I'm talking about, you know, you go into a bar and you pill some hot bar girl and you're giving her 5,000 baht a day. You're with her for a week. You're like, oh, here's 40,000, honey. And you're like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. I got plenty of money. Okay, great. Now you come back, you want her to go away with you, and you want her to take a month off from work. Maybe she's like, okay, that'll be 160,000 for the month. And you're like, ooh, That kind of hurts a little bit. How about I give you 120? And she's like, she holds out. You know, this is what happens. So if that's what you want, that's great. You just pay them off and you get what you want. However, you might pay them off and you might get a raw deal. You might pay them off and they might be like, you're an asshole, I don't like you, and I'm not giving your money back. A lot of the people who own farms have another occupation. I know several nurses and teachers who own farmland. They high group of people planting farms. And that's not always true, Jim, but okay, yes, some of them have other occupations. Some of them, you know, the husband and wife stayed home, the daughter still lives there and she's out working or doing whatever, supplementing the income, and then she helps around the house. I mean, you know, that kind of stuff happens. So, you know, that's great, right? But I think that the loneliness that men are experiencing in the United States, men have to know how to get through it. And I guess I didn't know this, but USA Today reports that some men are turning to man camps as a way to combat loneliness and bond with others. These man camps come in various forms such as group therapy, workout classes, and boot camp style training. Now, the one thing that I would say, I don't care how big you are, how tall you are, how small you are, how large you are, whatever it might be. I think there's a few things that if you do this, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to start landing some women. One thing is you got to be fit. You got to be somewhat fit. You got to have a little bit of muscle. You got to look, you know, if you don't have a lot of muscle, you got to be lean, whatever it is. You got to look fairly decent. You got to be clean. You know, I mean, these are simple things that anybody in their right mind would know, but usually people don't think about it like, okay, so what's going to land me a girl? Well, first of all, do you have a profession that's going to lead someone to say, oh, wow, I can respect that? If they can't respect you, they don't want to be with you. Are you fairly fit? Do you go to the gym 4 or 5 times, 6 times a week, and you're fit? And when they look at you, they go, ooh, that guy looks good. And they're actually thinking, oh, wow, yeah, he looks pretty good. And you know, they don't even think about the sleeping with you part because they know, okay, well, you know, this guy's fit, he looks pretty good, he's clean. Okay, I'm not worried about that. Now I'm worried about if we were to get involved in more than just, you know, a one-night love affair, would this guy be able to provide? Would this guy help? And what kind of mentality does he have? Does he have the mentality like, no, honey, you're not working. I don't care what you say. You don't have to go to work. Some women love that. And some women are, no way. She's like, no, I want to work. You know. It's funny, you know, I see this thing where he says about Thailand having too many options. And to me, I don't think of it that way. I think the options are there. Anyway, so the options, you can look at it like that. You can look at it like, oh my God, there's so many women here. Oh my, but why do you put them first? Why are they first on your agenda? They shouldn't be first. You come first. Your agenda, having money, being taken care of, knowing that if something happens, you can handle it. That's what comes first. It isn't that Thailand has too many options, that the options have dwindled in the West. Well, and I can tell you that there are many, many Thai women that would not even contemplate being with a foreigner. I mean, there are many Thai women, they would not even think about it. And I have been around Thai women that told me, if I came home with a foreigner, my mother would go nuts. They would be like, what are you thinking? Oh my God. And you know, when the family talks to women, listen, Nicholas, he hooked up with some chick in his first year of school, and he started getting serious with her. And my wife found out, man, she put the kibosh on that right away. She's like, nope, 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 nope. You don't need to get serious now, because I don't want you to end up getting a girl pregnant, and then you drop out of school, and then you're just going to be like every other person. And we're going to be watching the kid, and we're going to have to help you. And then she's like, no, it's not going to happen. I forbid you to see that woman. You need to break up with her now. And he broke up with her. Because that's how things operate here. When the parents speak, the kids, they listen. And if they don't listen, they're not usually in the house anymore. So, you know. And, you know, the thing is my kids, I know my kids, they wouldn't even think about, like, going to a bar to get a woman. Oh, my God. They couldn't even, that's unfathomable. And when I first came here, I didn't think it was all that, I thought, oh, well, maybe some of them are probably, you know, they're slipping off to go get a little something, something. And I mean, some of them do. Some of them go to soapies, and, you know, it's very discreet and things like that. But a lot of them don't. They don't care. They go out there, find themselves a good chick, you know, and who knows what they're doing when they have the chick. You know, they might have somebody else. They might have a bunch of girls. Who knows? But they're definitely not like, whoa, let's go to Pattaya and hang out there and party and get a bunch of girls, and that's the life I want to live. That's not what they're doing. So, you know, that's pretty important and something to take note of. Let's see here. An increasing amount of research indicates that women are the main drivers in initiating, planning, and coordinating social activities both within the home and in professional settings. Mothers are more concerned about their children's health and well-being and are also more inclined than fathers to take charge of managing the family's social schedule, whether it's participating in parent-child playgroups, religious services, or volunteering. Women show a greater interest in nurturing social connection compared with men. Okay, which, you know, whatever, that's how it is. I believe that. I believe that's true. Research found that college-educated women in particular are prioritizing the development of personal relationships in the workplace and taking the initiative in organizing social activities. I don't think my wife takes the initiative to do those kind of things, but what happens is a group of them get together and they go, oh, let's go to this place. And the next thing you know, they got one person going, all right, how about we meet at my house and we do this and we do that. And that's how it works. More than 60% of women with a college education reported that they discuss personal matters with their colleagues, leading to stronger connections, increased socializing, and greater participation in workplace activities, which my wife says she never talks about personal matters with her colleagues. Maybe she'll talk about what the kids are doing or something like that, but other than that, she doesn't do those kind of things, which I'm grateful for. Because they don't need to know what's going on in our life. Let's see here. Guys are taught to prioritize career, also romantic relationships, although it doesn't seem like they're doing a very good job of that. Making friends and keeping friends seems to be a lower priority, and once guys get older, they suddenly realize they have no friends. Now, I've said that before. And, you know, that's something I think about it. I don't want, I'm 62, when I'm, say, 72, and people are starting to die off more, I don't want to be the only guy and I have no friends. So I have a handful of friends now, And, you know, I'm not someone who makes friends real easily, but if I make a friend and they tend to be fairly good, then I keep them as a friend. We treat friendship as a luxury, especially men. It's a necessity. Okay, so that's interesting. And as I said, people that live longer, they tend to have social circles that are fairly large. You're not my friend, Scott. You're my dad. Thank you very much, dear Sammy. What do you think? Is America the worst place to date? Well, it's not that simple. As with any country, there are pros and cons to American dating. But I'm curious about your thoughts on this. Let me know. Well, yeah, I don't think it's actually just, you're the best dad in Southeast Asia. It's what my kids tell me. It's not just America. In Japan and South Korea, they live a long time and adapt to living by themselves. Well, I guess, you know, the thing is some people want to live by themselves. Oh, I mean, it's been 30 years since I've lived there, and I know things have changed. And when I go back, man, I am isolated. I lead a fairly sheltered life. When I went to go get a driver's license in America, the last time that I went, it wasn't a driver's license, it was just an ID, a state ID. I just wanted to get that. My mother goes, I go, so we got to go to the DMV and get it. She goes, the DMV? I go, yeah, don't you have to go to the DMV? She goes, no. AAA takes care of that now. I was like, what? AAA? Oh, yeah, you just walk right in. It's boom, boom, boom. And I went in like 10 minutes, I had everything I needed. I was like, wow. You know, so yeah, things have changed. But when I go home, I mean, I'm fairly isolated. My parents' place is pretty isolated. And it's not like I can just go walk and go, okay, I'm going to go walk down to, 7-Eleven and I'm going to get some food from the little guy that sells squid down there. I can't do that. I'm going to get a lemonade from the lemonade stand or something. I can't do it. I never understood how people get lonely. I actually love my own space. People become more of a burden as time goes by. Well, I do understand it. I think I understand it. I mean, I've been lonely, on occasion. And sometimes my kids will go away for something and my wife has to go do something. She's gone for a couple of days. And the next thing I know, I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm here alone. And, at first, the first 2 days, I'm like, hey, this is great. Just lay around, I'm watching TV. Yeah, all right, man, yeah. Man things, cool. I do a few things around the house that I want to get done. There's nobody to bug me. But after, on about the third day, I start going, man, I wish they were here. What, they're not here. What's going on? It would be nice sometimes, if they were gone and I just go, I'd really like to see them here. Okay, boom, they come back for a day and then they leave again. That would be fine. But when I am alone, a lot of the time, I don't really have a problem with being alone. I don't want to be alone all the time. I don't want to be alone for months on end, years on end. That's just me. I don't want to be alone. And I don't have to be around a lot of people. I don't have to be, around loads of people. But I can tell you, listen, we've been thinking about moving. And we think about where we're going to be, and I think, okay, so where am I going to go around there? But I think, would I come here? Would I still go to the gym? Because the gym it's very social. I'm like, maybe I want to go there. Maybe I want to continue to go to the gym. Well, guess what? It means I have to trek back and forth. And I'm like, I gotta find something else. And then I'm like, okay, maybe if I found a little coffee shop, I wouldn't be going out as much. I won't be going out as much, I can tell you that. It's just not gonna happen. Because it's a lot harder to get around if you're living a little farther out, like Bang Na and some of those areas. It's a bit of a pain to get around. And I don't want to have to, it's not like I can go to well, I'm just going to take 2 minutes and go to the mall. Usually it involves a little bit more than that, the places where we've been looking. But, when you're home, oh, it's great. It's like, when you're in a home and you love being there, and you have everything set up the way that you want, and you have plenty of food, you don't have to go out to get a meal. You can just cook your own meal. You can just throw a meal in the microwave, whatever it is. That's great. And then some of these places that you go to, they've got gyms, they've got swimming pools, they've got parks, they've got places you can go and sit down. Like I could just have shrubs behind me. Nobody knows where I am. Nobody knows what I'm doing. Everything is just, it's right there. And I like that. Yeah, I had the same issue when I moved, having to find new places to hang out, new supermarkets, and whatnot. Yeah, that is always something that I think about. And getting around, like, how am I going to get into the center of town? Is it going to be easy? Is it going to be a little bit more difficult? Is it going to be very difficult? And there's one place that we went, and I was like, man, okay, I could pay 150 baht to come, just to here. But the SkyTrain and the MRT, the subway, will be in effect. It will be working in the next year to 2 years. Also, there's a boat. I could take a boat. Now, that sounds great. Oh, you just jump on the boat and no, that boat is electric, which means it's slow. It takes 45 minutes to an hour to get here. From here, it takes you another hour to get down in the middle of town. 45 minutes. So you're talking about a bit more commuting, and what I think about is my wife. I'm like, how are you going to get to work? And so one of the places, she can go, oh, I can just jump on the SkyTrain. That's really easy. It's convenient. It's cheap. Okay, well, great. Now you're going to get almost exactly to where you work, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg, which is, when you think about it, if you're spending an arm and a leg to get around, and I used to pay, how much was it? I used to pay about 300 baht every day to go and 300 baht to come back from where I worked in Pinklao. Now they've changed the roads, and I think you can get around by public transportation a little bit easier. Maybe you can get the SkyTrain or the subway or something, I don't know. But I know you can take a boat, so it would be easier for me. But back then I was like, this is the only way. But you know what? I'm making money. I got to spend the money to get there. That's what I got to do. Go to the gym, go to the casino, go to the beach, use online apps. People need to take the initiative if they want to meet people. Well, you got to get out there. That's the thing. You have to get out there. You have to be open. And you just have to be willing to say, hello, hi, how are you? Hey, what's your name? Oh, okay. And, that's how things start. I don't know about the casino. There's no casino here right now. I don't need to go to the casino. The gym, okay. The beach, that's nice. Online apps, I don't need online apps. For me, I don't really need any other than the banking and, a few other things. But I don't need, Tinder or any of the other shit. But just me. Some people might like that. And I don't understand, if they're going out and they're going different places, why do they have to do it that way? Do it the old-fashioned way. What's wrong? What's wrong with old-fashioned? I don't get it. What is wrong with it? This is why I'm conflicted. I have a small-ass apartment, but I'm in the center of the city. The apartment is perfect size and has everything I need. But if I want a family, I can't live here anymore. Well, so that means having a family is going to drive your cost up. And actually, I think I have something. Let me see something. If I can find it. Oh, okay. The first thing I want to just go over this letter that supposedly a Thai person wrote. Here's a short sentence. It just seems like it is easier for Thai men to become ladyboys because in most cases they make more money for less working hours than when they go to work in the heat for 40 hours a week or more. It's really sad. Thailand has become a country that exists for tourists to come by and have their fun with them, the ladyboys. Coming from a Thai person, by the way, and I wrote, rubbish. Seriously, that's ridiculous. I know many Thais who make excellent money and they don't feel like they need to become ladyboys in order to make decent money. And it's the Thai government that wants tourists. Tourists come, and the majority of ladyboys are for Thais, not foreigners. So stupid. I mean, you can debate who the ladyboys are for, but I guarantee you there's a lot of ladyboys out there who have lovers, who have relationships with people who are Thais just like them. So that's one thing. Where's the other one? Oh, and I do have somebody, this goes back to the same ladyboy video that I did. My wife is a Thai trans woman. And it's a comment in that video, what's the fascination with ladyboys? My wife is a Thai trans woman. We've been together for 22 years now. Marrying was the best decision I ever made. On the money saved by not having kids, we're retiring to early to Thailand in a few years. Now, that sentence right there, okay, you don't have to be with a ladyboy to not have children. I understand that most women want children, but you can find women who don't want children. You don't have to go to a ladyboy because you're going to find someone who doesn't, you know, they're not able to have children or whatever it is. If anyone has any questions about the Thai ladyboys, just ask. So if there's anybody who wants to ask this guy any questions, the comment is down below that video. What's the fascination with ladyboys? It's all right there. So, you know, there's a couple little, oh, wait a minute, what's this? Held for review. Okay. Wait a minute. What is this? Thailand only wants your money like every other destination, but does Thailand give value for the money? The answer is a resounding yes. Okay, I would say yes, it does. You get a value. Okay, but it's the racism part that gets me. It's very popular to hate whites right now, and I have zero white guilt. So I will verbally fight any racist, including Asians, that hate whites. I feel the racism in Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia. It's very popular to hate whites right now. Like, I get the covert racism in Zambia, Tanzania, Kenya, because we had black slaves in the U.S. We don't have Thai slaves. We didn't have Filipino slaves. Why are Asians so racist? Actually, Asians are more racist than Africans are. Africans are more humble than Asians too. Listen, I don't know why this guy has such a hard-on for the Thais. Every country has some form of racism. I hate to tell you this. Oh, where are you from? I'm from America. Oh, so you're not one of us. Sometimes that's what they're saying. Not all the time. But a lot of the time, that's what they're saying. When I'm walking around Thailand, everybody knows I'm not from here. I wasn't born here. People know that. And what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just, cower and go, oh, I'm not one of you? No. What does it matter? I never can understand these kind of comments. So, Sammy, are you planning on getting married? I used to live in a small apartment, and then I got a little bit bigger apartment, and I met my wife, And she was like, you're paying that much money? I was paying, like, at the time it was about $1,500 a month for an apartment, including electricity. And at the time I had a modem. I had 2 phone lines. And, you know, I was paying a lot of money. I'm tired of teaching other people's kids. I want to have my own now before I get too old. Well, it's probably a good idea. You're not a young man, Sam. You're getting up there. You're middle-aged. Any candidates that you are thinking of, or what's going on with that? All right, let me see this here. Oh, I got a few other things to do. Let's see here. I'm always on the hunt. Okay. When discussing the issue of loneliness and relationship status among American men, several statistics highlight the growing trend of social isolation and the challenges many men face in forming and maintaining relationships. Here are some of the relevant statistics. I hear Thais talking more shit regarding Malaysia, Myanmar, and PI than I hear regarding America. Just trying to decide, do I want to find a chick and help her grow, or find a chick who has her shit together? Well, I don't know about that, because I think you gotta find a chick who has potential. And if she's got her shit together, great. Although she may expect you to have your shit together. And if you don't, then that's something that she's gonna be harping on. So, let me see here. What was I looking at here? I was looking at something here. Okay. According to a 2000, I said here this before, but let's go over this real quick. A 2020 Pew Research Center report, 28% of men 25 to 54 are not in a romantic relationship, compared to 18% in the same age group. For younger men, the percentage is even higher. 2021 study found that 63% of men are under 30 who are under 30 are single, compared to 34% of women in the same age group. 15% have no close friend, up from 3% in 1990. Same survey highlighted that 36% of men reported having 6 or more close friends in 1990, but this number had dropped to just 15% by 2021. Women are generally less likely to report being without close friends. In the same survey, only 10% of women reported having no close friends, compared to 15% of men. Women tend to maintain more robust social networks, which contributes to lower levels of loneliness. Men are more likely to experience social isolation due to several factors, including societal expectations around masculinity, which can discourage emotional openness and the formation of close relationships. Blah, 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 blah. And, you know, by definition, a passport bro is a term used to describe a man, typically from the United States or UK, who chooses to seek a romantic relationship or companionship abroad rather than in his home country. This trend has gained attention in recent years, particularly within online communities and social media. The motivations behind this phenomenon are complex and multi-faceted, and quite honestly, you know, like I said, you could call me a passport bro. That's what I was 30 years ago when I came over here. I was like, listen, I'm open to anything. I mean, I'm an open-minded person with some things. But when it came to women, I was like, I don't care. Are they good looking? Do I find them attractive? Are they nice? You know. And then I was like, okay, cool. I can hang out with this person. Oh, she's Thai. Okay. And it never mattered. I mean, in the United States, I remember I had a French girlfriend. I had a Swedish girlfriend. I had an Australian girl who was kind of, you know, and I had an American girl. So, or American girls, but You know, it just didn't matter. Now, many men now feel frustrated or disillusioned with the dating scene in the U.S. They may perceive dating as overly competitive, transactional, or focused on superficial aspects. Some believe that traditional gender roles have shifted significantly, leading to confusion or dissatisfaction with modern dating norms. Some men leave because they want traditional relationships where they believe roles are more clearly defined. They may feel that women in other countries are more likely to embrace traditional gender roles which align with their own preferences for partnership. And what gets me is American women are like, oh my God, you're gonna go to the Philippines for a Filipino girl, all because she's traditional. Well, fuck you. You're an asshole. You're this. Wait a minute. First of all, the man's not allowed to want something. He's not allowed to desire what he desires. You could say, oh, he's going over only for sex. Oh, that's rubbish. Yeah, some of them in the beginning, they go over for sex. Okay, I understand that. But the bottom line is, they don't want to have some woman who doesn't live the way that they feel they should live. They don't necessarily have to be this, oh, I'm a little submissive flower. Don't harm me, baby. That's not what they're doing. Oh God, it irritates me when women think that. You know, guy comes over, he's in a place, he's over there long enough, and he goes, listen, you know, I gotta get me a little something, something. What am I supposed to do? Go my whole life? I'm gonna be in Thailand for 5 years. I got a 5-year contract. I'm gonna be there, I'm not gonna have any women. I'm not gonna do anything. Come on. Many places in the U.S. have lots of Thai, Chinese, Filipinos. These lonely guys don't need to travel thousands of kilometers to meet people. Province Filipinos aren't submissive. They just need money. Well, I can tell you that if they're trying to get them in the United States, the Asians there are going to do the same thing as what the Americans do. They're going to expect a certain amount of success. They're going to expect you to be really good looking. And, you know, listen, not everybody is handsome. Not everybody is cute. I understand that. You know, you are what you are. But girls got to understand that sometimes they're not all that. They're not the greatest looking thing. Just because they got big tits doesn't mean anything if they've got an ass the size of a house. Nobody cares. I don't care about that. I'd rather have a chick who has a small butt and has small breasts than have a chick that has a huge ass. And it makes no difference to me. Well, let me see if I got anything else here. Well, this guy on TikTok, he says he surrounds himself with women who are his type. In other words, I choose to be with women who have the qualities that I'm looking for. That's not always so easy to find. And sometimes you have to, you really have to look and you have to take time to understand these things. I think finding a life partner is one of the most important decisions in life. So dating in different countries gives me the best odds of finding a partner. Okay. You know, I mean, like, that's taken to an extreme, if you ask me. Have you noticed a decrease in the option that people have towards white men in Thailand? Oh, the option Thai people have. Well, maybe. Maybe simply because of the pandemic. And there's a lot of tourists, but, you know, a smart Thai woman isn't going to hook up with some guy who's just passing through. Now, if the guy is extraordinarily handsome, if he's, you know, she's like, oh my God, this guy is something else, and she thinks maybe there's even potential for a relationship, she might sleep with him. Okay, I grant you that. It's not like cut and dry. But I would say that for the most part, if you come here for 2 weeks, you're not going to find the love of your life who you're going to get married to. Let's just face that. You might find some chick who you really like, she's friends with you, you haven't slept with her, and then maybe you come back again and maybe you guys sleep together. And then you start getting something going and you're like, well, okay, I can work it out to where I can go work over there, or I can bring her back or whatever. And if she doesn't want to go back, what I always recommend to guys is don't bring your wife that you've been with for 6 months or a year in Thailand, don't bring her back to the United States. Give it some time. You know, let it play out, so that if she really is just thinking, I want to get my green card, and that's all I care about, and then I'm going to leave this guy, she's got to put in the time, you know. Asian women in the U.S. are yellow on the outside and white on the inside. Yes, it's not so easy to find a woman as an average white man. And that's what I view myself as. I mean, you know, I'm in my 60s now. But when I was in my 20s, I thought I was, you know, at least average. You know, I mean, I got my share of women. And they weren't ugly. Although maybe, you know, if I drank too much, I might have had a few uglies. But, you know, for the most part, no. And, you know, but I can say this. I was in Palm Desert, and I still remember there being a time when me and my buddy, we went to the mall, my two buddies, we went to the mall, and we were like, Jesus Christ, it'd be nice to pick up a chick here. And we were looking around for women. We couldn't pick any women up. We were like, holy shit. And that is right around the time, you know, I met a girl there, and I started going out with her and everything, and, you know, we were seeing each other, we were together, but that was right around the time when I kind of felt like things changed. When I thought, wow, this is a little bit different. And people had told me, women had told me, if you're going to get involved with someone, the first thing they're looking at is your car. Then they're looking at, like, what do you do? How much money are you bringing? They're not thinking about you. Are you a great guy? They may get to that, but, you know, yeah, you're just an ATM to them. They don't actually desire it. Well, this is the thing. If you find a girl here or in some other country, wherever it may be, and the person's really into you, I mean, people make mistakes, and, you know, I mean, what did I want to talk about? Oh, I was going to talk about divorces. I think that's the next stream, and prenups, and marriage, and sinsawed, and all that other kind of stuff. Divorce has gone up in Thailand, but I will tell you this one thing here. In America, 90 to 95% of divorces, holy shit, they're settled out of court. I thought it said in court. Now, if it's, let's see here. In Thailand, it's 60 to 70%. Now that kind of surprises me. I thought it was the other way around. You know, so that's kind of, you know. Thailand has a very low birth rate. Well, and I mean, to me, I think that's a bit of a problem. And I saw the Locked Up Abroad, where the woman was supposedly married, and the guy supposedly just left her or whatever, and then she hooked up with some guy, and, you know, they were all in love and everything, and, you know, they thought about getting married, but, you know, she needed to find the guy found her and said, oh, you're sleeping with another guy, you're committing adultery. And they had to leave the country. They came to Thailand, and then I think they went to America because they wanted to put her in jail for committing adultery. Well, you know what? The young spinners, they never have been, there haven't been a high percentage of them ever. And now it's even less. But you got to look around. You got to take your time and find them. And herein lies the problem. You want good-looking bar girls? Listen, I went to Pattaya, I don't know how long ago, 6 months, 9 months, something like that. I went there, and I went out with my buddies, and we went out, you know, and guys in the stream, they know who they are. We went out, we went into the bars. I picked a bar out for us to go to. It was the busiest bar on Walking Street. We went into the busiest place. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking, and I saw a couple good-looking girls. Some of them had some tattoos on them. One or two of them didn't have tattoos. The majority of them were slathered in tattoos. They were fat, ugly. Some of them were just, they were like, what's the word? You know, like, what is the word you could use for them? I'm trying to think of it. There's one word I can't think of it right this second. But they were like wicked looking, man. I mean, you know, I don't mean wicked in the sense that they look evil. I just mean they just didn't look good. You know, I was just like, I'm not impressed by, you know, I see this chick out on the street, I don't even want to get close to her. And I was telling the guys, I was like, listen, come on. You know, there might be, you know, 2 girls in here, 3 girls in here that you would bang that look pretty good. But the rest of them, I was like, no, man, no. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't really care about OnlyFans. And, you know, the guys going to OnlyFans, oh, let me go there. Let me see these beautiful women. Oh, God. You know, keep it real, man. And that's the thing. Most of the time, stuff online is not real. It's just not. I don't care if it's Tinder, Thai Friendly, it's websites that you go to promising that you'll hook up with this chick and that chick. I don't care what it is. It's better you just meet and you can look in their eyes and you can see. And sometimes you can, you know, maybe they're good liars. You can't sense it. You can't figure it out. Sometimes, you know, you have a good time. Skanks. Well, yeah, some of them are skanky. And some people like the skanks. Some people don't mind some of them. I mean, you know, I understand it. Listen, sometimes when you're horny, listen, the chick, she doesn't look perfect. You're like, that doesn't matter. You know. If that was the case, every guy who was 60, 70 years old with a wife who was 50, 60 years old, they would never get laid. They would never want their woman. Because, you know, let's face it, a chick gets 60 years old, she don't look the same as when she was 20. Anyway, so there you go. I think we should talk more about this, but, you know, we only have so much time. I got a few minutes left. I got about 15 minutes left, and that's about all I can spare. Then I got to go. We are going to go check out some houses and see what's up. Carnivore knows what I'm talking about. He's one of those guys that we went out with. He knows what I'm talking about. I mean, you know, like sometimes you just want to, you listen, I've done it before. I've been to the Eden Club. Long ago, I was in the Eden Club, and, you know, things got out of hand real quick, and by the time I left, it was hard to walk out. That's what I'll say. My legs were shaking. I don't know where it is now. It's somewhere close to the airport link. I think on the way to Suvarnabhumi. I don't know. I think it's over in that area. I'm not sure exactly where. My wife knows all the details. She'll take me there. We've looked at Ramkhamhaeng 174, 157. We've looked over in 101. We've looked in our village. We've looked in all kinds of places. And, you know, she'll get approved for the loan. It's not anything about that. I mean, you know, we don't have to put any money on it. And the loan is it's like 2%, 2.5% interest. It's crazy. I was surprised. Because I was like, why don't we just can't we just pay for it? And, you know, she's like, why? That'd be stupid. I was like, all right, whatever you say, you know. But there's a lot of places, you know. So you want to stay by T. Stay by the sky. I want to stay where there's some public transportation. And then what we can do is we can either give the kids the house, or we can let them stay there. You know, they can pay the rent. We can work it out. We can work something out if we want to move somewhere else. And, you know, we're not sure yet. We're not sure yet if what we're gonna do. Rom come hang. Let me show you. Yeah, and you know, Rompang's going to have the SkyTrain, subway. It'll be, I'm not sure when the cars will come, but the line is already completed. So they just need to get the cars and get everything going, and you know, test everything, and that'll come soon. You know, I don't have to live right in the city. I don't want to live right in the city. I don't live right in the city right now. I live on the northwest corner of Bangkok, and you know, like the wife and I have been thinking, is if we get a place, the kids are working, they're earning money, we can figure it out. They can get into the place, they can keep the place once we die or whatever. We can do whatever we want. It's just an asset. So, and hopefully it would work and everything would be good there, and you know, yeah, so, and you know, honestly, I don't really care that much. I like to live in decent places, but as long as it meets a couple of my little criteria, which I don't have that many, I don't care. You know, I'm not too picky. We'll put it that way. So, anyway. You know, like I said, sometimes you gotta know when to stand up and say something, and when to, you know, like, I mean, I look at some places and I said to my wife, how are you gonna get to work? What are you gonna do? How often are you gonna work? How often are you gonna go into work? You say you only wanna work 2 days a week, and then you work 4 days a week. I'm like, you're not gonna be, if you go 4 days a week into work, thank you, Sammy. If you go into work 4 or 5 days a week instead of 2, and you don't work from home, well, then you're paying more money to go. So you got to figure things out. You got to schedule everything on, you know, 2 days, and then go in on those 2 days, and really that's it. So we'll see what she does. We'll see what we do. I don't know. You know, to me, I'm like, listen, I'm fine where we are. You thought about being a grandpa. You're going to spoil the grandkids. You think your boys, if they do get married, going to be like a Thai chick, or it'll be a Thai chick. I'm pretty sure about that. They'll be Thai, you know. And as far as having grandkids now, no. I mean, you know, maybe in a few years. I can't see it happening with Nicholas or Alex right now. You know, Alex has a little friend that he is tight with, and Nicholas supposedly has some chick. I don't know what's going on with him. I try not to meddle too much, but they're not going to get married. That's not going to happen. They're not going to get married and have children, and no, that's not going to happen. We don't want that to happen. Not yet, you know. I mean, nowadays, somebody's 23 years old, 24 years old. That's too damn young, man. You gotta, like I told Alex, you gotta work, put that money away. You've got to have some money socked away. You got to have like 1,000,000 baht socked away. Then you hook, I mean, maybe you're hooked up, but you got the 1,000,000 baht. You got money, then you got some other money put aside so that when you get married, you can cover all those things and not touch that nest egg. It's up to them, but I think they're probably going to stay in Thailand, but it's up to them. They can do whatever they want. Like I said, you know, they want to go somewhere, good on them. Up to them. But, you know, they need a little time. They'll figure it out soon. So, anyway, thank you everybody for joining me. Like I said before, do me a favor, smash the like button. We've had like at least 45 people, 50 people watching today, and I got 25 thumbs up, which is, it is what it is. So smash the like button, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and look down in the description. There's all kinds of ways that you can contact me, or you can show the love, you can follow, join, whatever you want. Everything's down there. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Jim. I hit the like button, so I wasn't one of them. Okay, thank you, appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be back soon. I like these little streams where we have conversations and you can actually converse. And you know, maybe I learn a little something, some other people learn a little something. I like them. But I do plan on going somewhere pretty soon. I'm just not sure yet. Like I said, I have a few things I'm trying to take care of, and in the next month or two I'll take care of them, and then I'll be going to a few places. I'll be in Da Nang, maybe I'll be in Bali. I don't know yet. Have to figure it out. So until next time, I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Appreciate you guys joining me. And I will talk to you later. Chok di leo jerken mai, which is good luck and see you later. Okay. Boom.